Here we have the Battle of Talavera from 1809 that was fought between the British and Spanish troops against France. The battle that we're fighting here is going to simulate the French assault against the British position, and we'll assume that the Spanish have already bugged out, so they won't actually appear. We'll be using black powder rules, and the scale is 28mm. As we can see, the French assault has got off to a pretty brisk start, and they've formed up into columns and line, and have now got themselves across to the British position to start assaulting and try and break through the British lines. You can see a fairly heavy concentration of French columns at the top of the picture here. They're getting stuck in, and the British formed up in their traditional lines, hoping that the firepower is going to manage to push the French back. British haven't been particularly lucky with their command roles at the moment, and finding it very difficult to get their troops under control and get them moving, whereas the French, certainly on the left and the centre of their position, the commanders are very well coordinated and have managed to get their brigades into the attack very, very quickly. Here we can see a couple of British skirmishers, riflemen at the front of their position, hoping to disrupt the French columns as they attack. And here we can actually see a couple of French columns now getting into hand-to-hand combat with the British line, which is going to be very difficult for the British to resist. In an attempt to break up the French attack, the British now sending in their cavalry, try and charge and break a couple of the French units. Here we just see a quick overall position of the centre, and the French cavalry beginning to manoeuvre across to counter the British cavalry charges. British have also brought on some cavalry reinforcements on their left flank, forcing the French to change formation into square so they don't get ridden down. And here we can see the French and British cavalry charging each other in the centre. French attack is going ahead pretty well, and they're beginning to break up the British lines. And the French cavalry as well is beginning to push back the British cavalry formations. French on the right hand side of their position still being held in square, and a couple more French columns now actually getting into combat with the British. So the actual battle now is shaping up quite badly for the Allied forces. British riflemen positioned in the woods, still trying to snipe away at the advancing French columns, trying to cause a few casualties. But the pressure of the French columns that are now pushing into the British line is becoming a little bit too much, and one or two of the British units begin to break and rout. So, unfortunately for the British, the result of the battle is reversed from its historical outcome, and the French march victoriously through the British lines.